All right. Welcome back to the NPMR Lighthouse. We are at, I guess, about a month from my last video. I thought I'd do an update sooner than that. I ended up just getting this a really annoying nasal thing. I wasn't sick. I had no sore throat or anything like that. My nose was just running and always need to be blown. And anyway, I don't need to go into all the details, but basically it made doing the programs a lot more difficult because it made it almost impossible to ignore my body. I was doing a lot of breathing through my mouth and clearing my throat. You know, so I probably went, a good 2 weeks. I think I did try once or twice, but I just couldn't get in the state, and I just decided to kind of put it all off to the side for a second. So I'm putting this under Gateway Journal, but I've sort of branched off into something else, which is telltale of the way I've been doing things for years now, and something I was really hoping to alleviate with the Gateway process. When I look at the full program and I love Bob Monroe. I've read all of, his 3 books. I don't think he had any books outside of that. And when I read his program and instructions and listen to him talk, I'm like, hell yeah, this guy, he's done it. He's been there. He correlates his experience with all these other people. And, looking forward into the program, you've got, NVC, nonverbal communication, you've got non-physical friends, you've got all these things that are really exciting to look forward to. Even Wave 7, that wasn't even published until after his death, but he was still a part of, which, really kind of goes beyond death, is really interesting to someone like me. Unfortunately, I've started to kind of find the tapes to be a little bit annoying. And it's not necessarily the way it's done. There's just so much preparation, there's so many interruptions, and I think when you're very, very new, it's great because it helps keep you focused on whatever it is you're trying to accomplish. But when you're in focus 12 and you sort of expand beyond that, I feel like hearing any sounds, voices coming through the earbuds is just really going to take you out of whatever state you're in. So with that being said, I really got started in all this stuff through Thomas Campbell. It was about 2015, maybe it was 2016. It's not that important. But we're looking at, what is that, 6 years ago roughly, and his videos are what really sent me flying down this whole path. I mean, from his videos, I started looking into just a ton of esoteric concepts. So obviously the out-of-body experience, that whole vein of thought, what people call magic, started looking into Golden Dawn stuff. Never quite vibed with me. I have huge respect for Josephine McCarthy of the Quareia School. I did kind of dip my toes in that program, but I didn't do it any justice, so I can't speak to its efficacy. Samuel Sagan at the Claire Vision School is currently what I've been diving into a lot over the past 2 years. But I mean, really it all started with Tom and his breakdown and his theory, and I had never heard these esoteric concepts explained in such a straightforward way that made total sense. And I look at basically all the other frameworks through the framework that I started with, which was Tom's. So, PMR, NPMR, hence the name of this channel. And I don't know if I agree with it fully, but that's the whole point, is you're not supposed to. You're supposed to gather data and bounce your ideas off others who have had similar experiences. And then, form your conclusions intellectually after gathering data, which is pretty solid. It's an absolutely solid mindset. So, with all that being said, I went ahead and bought his program. I don't have the name in front of me. It was like Exploring Consciousness and the Greater Reality, I believe. It was like $99. I'm probably 1/4 of the way through it. But it's not something that you really blaze through. Like, I'm going through, I'm listening to everything, I'm doing the audios, but the awesome thing about Tom's is they're, about 50 plus minutes long, and they are, a short introduction through him, but aside from that, it is just the sounds. So it's a lot more open-ended. You form your intent, and if you get involved in something, which I have, it's up to you how far you go. But if I was in the States I've been in this past week, and in the middle of it, someone interrupted and began talking to me, I'd totally lose where I'm at, because my brain will automatically switch over into intellect. See what this person wants, solve their problem, answer them. So, I mean, his audios are, and he even says they're just a tool. They're not completely necessary. And, they're great for beginners because they help get you in the right state. And I've liked them a lot so far. And I've used them prior to buying the program and didn't know what I was doing and didn't have the context of what I should be doing within that, 50 minutes. So it's been really enlightening. And, I've probably done 3 sessions this week. I think I'm going to skip tonight because I'm kind of running out of time in the night. But, excuse me. But yeah, it's been nice. So, you can really do whatever you want. The whole point is to, you attain point consciousness, which is basically you become a point of consciousness. You basically wait until you get into the state where you don't have any sensory input. So you're not smelling anything, seeing anything, hearing anything, at least not actively. So you lose focus of your physical body, which I guess in Monroe's concept probably puts you closer to focus 12 or maybe focus 15. I haven't gone to focus 15 yet. But you get to that state, and then you decide what it is you would like to do. So, do you want to go out of body? Do you want to have a discussion with someone, some being? Do you want to do remote viewing? And so it's a lot more open-ended, and it kind of demystifies all these things being so... they're almost kind of seen as different things when they're, at least with Tom's work, you basically start on the same launch pad. So, my experience this week, and we're, racing to the 10-minute mark that I try to stay under. my experience this week has brought me to, I basically had the intent for 2 of the sessions that I wanted to speak with a being who was native to NPMR, non-physical material reality, who was interested in speaking to someone in PMR. And obviously me, being someone in PMR, interested in speaking to something in NPMR. And the experience has been, there's no verbal communication. Whatever this cat, this dude is, he doesn't get it, and I don't get him. And I think that's kind of where the fun is. He is formless. And I had sort of imagined myself sitting at this, breakfast table, and there's a window next to me, and that was my little meeting space. That just kind of popped up. I don't think I intentionally designed that. I was just sitting at a table with a cup of coffee in front of me. And then, they, it, he, she sits down, and dude's all over the place. He's got no concept of a physical body. He's just kind of this wispy form, drifting around. And, I've tried to explain to him that that's difficult for me to have a conversation with. And then him not being really able to speak, doesn't really say anything. But there are seconds that go by where I feel like there's an understanding from him, and I hope I'm understanding him as well. So, it's not something I'm going to work all the time, but I kind of have mentally developed a calling card to reach out. And, when I want to speak to them, I will try to have some more conversations with them. But, for now, it's also early that it could just be in my imagination. I'm fully willing to admit that. It could just be my brain coming up with, oh, this is what it would be like if there was a being who was completely non-physical. So, my imagination is kind of just jumping the gun, going around my intellect and creating this thing. But it's just cool. And I've had a few other experiences that I've done just kind of outside of that have been nice. And it kind of reminds me when I first started trying to get into meditation, where I didn't really know what I was doing. And I had the coolest experiences then. I wasn't so caught up on technique. I wasn't, I've got to focus on my third eye, and I've got to visualize this while I'm doing that. And, I've been through so many techniques, and it's really nice to just let go. And you have a general intent and you work on it, and you're not worried about, reaching samadhi or getting out of body or anything like that. That is, of course, unless that's what your, long-term goals are, maybe. But for right now, I'm just really enjoying that. So I'm going to kind of lump that into this Gateway Journal, because I do also plan on using some of Bob's techniques with, Tom's binaurals, and, maybe see what is helping and what's not, because they're all just tools that Bob gives. But I don't necessarily think that the energy conversion box is necessary. I don't think that the resonant energy balloon is, actually protecting you. I think what's protecting you is the fact that you think you're protected. And, your distractions go away because you think you've put them in a box. So, if you need that tool, then I think that you should use that tool. But I've just started to find those things really annoying. And there's a few things that the Gateway tapes do that I really enjoy, and there's other things that I feel like I could drop. So why not explore on my own? And then if I do need to come back and go, oh man, really need that resonant energy balloon, got my ass whipped out there, then maybe that's the way it'll go. But that's it hasn't been my experience so far. So I'm gonna end the video now. Blabbered on enough, and maybe I'll write a script next time. See you guys.